Welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me for our new week and new stamp set. Now, those of you that have noticed already, these are the new packagings. So we've gone from the very thick boxes that we've got to these slender packaging. This now means that I can get away with having more stock without anybody knowing, because they've got to fill in the holes and so they're much thinner. So for me, this is a boon. It means that these two together do not make up a stamp set. Let me just see if I have one right in front of me. So if you can see, they still really don't make up one stamp set. So a lot more space for me in my cupboards for creating and having stock to keep. Yay! Anyway, back to this week's stamp set of the week. It's Petals of Beauty. It's this stamp set here. It's got 10 dies. There's no sentiments in it at all. It's a two-step stamping. So you've got the infill and the outline of a large flower. You've got the same for a small flower, and then you've got 3 types of leaves, and then you've got these infills. So this one here would fill in either of the 2 flowers, and you've got extras that you can decorate with. So that's that, and that goes over the top of that one. So that is those. It has a die set as well. There are 12 dies. If you can hear the clip clop, it's because our Bella is with us. Sweetie pie, go and sit down. Get your nose out of the bin. Go and sit down. That's a good girl. Again, these are in very slender packaging. Let's pull it out. Oops, empty box. No, there we go. As you can see, it's still on the cardboard with this strip of glue, which is very, very strong. And as you can see, I have already drawn around the images, so I know exactly where they go back. But we will use these on Wednesday. So let's pop these aside for the second. Put those aside for a second. There we go. Right, so we're just focusing on the cards today, and we're going to make a very simple Monday morning card. I've used the big flower here, and I'm going to use the smaller flower for the version we're going to use. Right, so let's put these all aside and bring in my supplies. So I have a basic beige, which is 8 inches by 5 3/4. I have a piece of early espresso, which is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Then I have a piece of this beautiful designer series paper, and for the life of me, I have totally and utterly forgotten what it's called, but it's got the most beautiful leaves on it. And this is 3, and so that was 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. No, that was 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So this is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. This is 3 1/4 by 5. There we go. Right. And obviously all our work is going to happen on this piece of white cardstock. So let's put these aside and get the printing done. I am using the sentiment birthday celebrations. I'm using the happy birthday. It comes in 2 stamps. One is the happy, obviously, and the second one is the birthday. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position where I would like these to go. So I'm happy with that. Straighten it a bit, straighten it a bit. No, that's wonky. There we go. And then I'm going to take my block, pop it over the top. And oh, the theory was it would pick up both. There we go. That's better. All right. And then what I can do is I can now ink that in my early espresso. Right. I'm just going to test it on my piece of paper over here. Yep, happy with that, apart from the splodge, but we can sort that out. There we go. And then that will go at the top. Hold it for a second. There we are. We have our happy birthday. Now we can bring in our flower. So I'm using the Cajun Craze because it's going to pick up this colour here. I've got excuse me, I've got it in 2 stamps. So the first one I'm going to do is like a stepped off version. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Always a good look, especially on a Monday morning. Right, so ink it up, stamp it off, and then pop it down. 1. Okay, do it exactly the same again. Ink it up, stamp it off, and then the one's going to go there. Okay, then we're going to bring in this one, which is the full version. Ink it up. Going to work out where it goes. Now, this little tail here should fit on that little tail there. So that is the theory. There we go. And we can do the same again. Perfect. Then what I'm going to use is this little infill, which is going to be for the middle. Let's see if I can work out where that goes. There's 1, 2. Okay. Now we're going to bring in our beautiful leaves. It's all right. I've got a white jumper on today. I did not want to put my elbow in it, and I did think that might just happen. There we go. So my grey, which is going to pick up the basic beige, is going to pick up this colour here. So tap it gently, and then I'm just going to work out where it's going to go. So doesn't matter to stamp off. 1. This will dry. Whoops. Let's do one here. Can I get away with that, or should I put another one in? Always generally work in a 3-pronged version, even though I've only got 2 flowers. So let's just tip this one up here. There we go. Right. Put those there. This can now be all put together. So I'm going to fold this in half with my bone folder. There it is, hiding. So if you want to score it at 4 inches, for the purpose of the video, I am just using the bone folder and folding. Right. There we go. Put that there. Just going to make sure I don't put my hand in that, because that's not going to be a good look, is it? Let's see if I can. There we go. Rub that off. There we go. Perfect. And oh, hello, Bootsy. I'm now going to add this to here. Hopefully you won't see the split in the video there. My doorbell went, so I had to put the video on hold. So we're going to attach this beautiful piece of designer series paper to the cardstock. I am just going to use my stamp and seal. There we go, that's in position. And now we can add our last piece, which is the focal image. There we go. And then that will just sit on the top, like so. Now there's one other thing we can do. She says reaching. We have got some beautiful, now these are antique pearls. And I think if I take them out, okay, I'm going to take the tiny, tiny ones And I'm just going to add those to the middle of each of the flowers. And that will just help the card to pop. Right, so there we go. That is our Monday card. I hope you like those. So we've got a very springy version and an almost autumnal version. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. I will be back on Wednesday. So do join me then and we'll be having a better look at the dies. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Bye.